So I wanted to do a live stream about this topic of energetic foundations in your business, especially around visibility and using your voice, as well as your body, which we'll get to, and the ability to be truly seen. And if you are watching this on Facebook and jumping on live, feel free to say hello and introduce yourself and where you're coming in from. So this live stream, whether you grab it live or on the replay, is for those of you who are a founder or a leader especially, perhaps a CEO, and you either have a business already that's 6 figures or multiple 6 figures, and you've gotten there through a lot of hard work and a lot of strategy, and you want to take it to the next level beyond the 6 figures or the multiple 6 figures, and you know that while the strategy is good, while the hard work is good, that the hustle, the strategy, the hard work is not going to be the thing that takes you to the next level. Or if that's not you and you're spiritually inclined, all of my clients are spiritually inclined, whether that's religion and God or paganism or the divine feminine, there is absolutely always that tie in with everybody I work in, always. Or if that's not who you are and where you're at, the other piece of that is if you are a visionary and you have a massive business vision project you want to start, that you want to birth, that you want to bring into the world, and you are spiritually inclined, you are spiritually oriented, you are a visionary, you likely do have some sort of grounded business background, whether that's running other businesses or having something that's going on like a business that you want to pivot out to so that you can birth the next thing. I had a client once who was an occupational therapist and she wanted to switch from hourly to high ticket. I had another client who was a psychotherapist who had to become a spiritual teacher. But you have that larger vision and you have some of the nuts and bolts of how business actually works. You just need the more energetic, spiritual, emotional, psychological foundations. So there are 2 types of foundations in business. And I'm speaking specifically to businesses that have a spiritual component. I'm not talking about if you're selling cars. There are 2 types of foundations in businesses that you bring your heart, your soul, your passion, your voice, your desire, your commitment to. And those types of foundations are both the practical, the tangible, what we would call strategy, what we would call marketing, what we would call sales calls. And the other end of it, which is the subtle, the nuanced, and the energetic. For a very, very, very loose definition of this energetic component that encompasses who you be in the business, that encompasses how you show up, and that absolutely also encompasses things like your communication style. And I don't just mean within the marketing, I mean within the organization itself, within the company culture, and within the team. So if you're here, you're already at a level where you have some of the tangible, some of the strategic places, some of the more linear pieces in place. And it's not like a question of, how do I market this? What you're desiring is to set a stronger spiritual container. What you're desiring is to set a stronger energetic container. And what you're also desiring is to bring more of your voice, more of your heart, even more of your passion to take what you're creating to its next level. Now, I'm going to say something about that. Every single business-oriented client I've ever had has come to me because they wanted to make a larger impact first. They did care about the money second. Money is absolutely a real thing, but they have absolutely come to me. Hi, Leah. Leah, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. They've come to me because they've wanted to make the larger impact first. Impact has always been primary. They did want to create more money, but that was secondary. And they also have known, you also know, that there's both a way in which your personal spirituality is meant to come into this vision, and that you have personal, emotional, psychological content or material or trauma to work in within the mentorship container. So that's a little bit more about who this is for. Great. Leah's saying I'm saying her name right. Welcome. So you've already laid out the foundations, you already have the vision, you already are at 6 figures, possibly more, or if this is a new project, you've already had that success in other arenas. And you're really, really, really ready for the big vision, and you really care deeply about the internal pieces, the spiritual pieces, the communication, the container, your visibility and your voice. So all of that being said, I really wanted to dive into the piece around visibility today. There's 2 pieces I wanted to touch upon today. The bigger one is visibility and how you being more visible in business as more of who you truly are can sometimes be the switch to flip that takes you to greater impact and the greater income that comes with the greater impact. And I also wanted to very gently touch upon the concept of the container. And I don't mean the container that you're holding with the clients, because if I'm working with you, you probably already have that sorted out. But the container you're holding in your organization, the container that you're holding in your structures, the container energetically that you're holding with your team. So take a couple of moments and take this in. This was a 7-minute prelude, 8-minute prelude. Take a beat, take a breath. Both the container that you desire to set and the visibility that you desire to cultivate are actually processes that are truly embodied and that begin with your body. So as much as you and I can talk about spirituality and ascension and calling lost spirit parts home, and as much as that is real and very valid, your next level of visibility begins with your body. And we're going to do an exercise together on visibility. So stay with me, because we're going to do an exercise together on that piece. And your ability to set a healthy company culture, a healthy team culture also begins with your body. And if there's questions, please type them in. So I'm going to touch upon the concept of the container and company culture and how that begins with your body. And then we're going to do a deeper dive into this visibility topic. I'm bringing them both up because both have shown up in my week with prospects and clients. When you're at a pivot in business, it might be an up level, it might be a pivot, or starting a brand new thing. The first foundation begins with the strategy. That's not what we're talking about. The second foundation begins with the energetic container. How you relate to company culture, how you're relating to your team, if it's you and 2 other people, how the 3 of you are engaging And the safety, the sanctity, the love, the trust, the receptivity, the holding that you and them cultivate. And the part about that is that partly begins with you trusting yourself and you being able to communicate fully and effectively through your voice, through the vehicle of your body. So I wanted to briefly touch upon that. And I have a sense that that piece will make a lot more sense after we do the visibility piece together. Because to set this energetic container, to set this energetic foundation for the next level of your endeavor, you have to first be visible to yourself before you can truly be visible to the others on your team, the others that you're playing and creating with. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper into visibility. The visibility that you desire in your business, or if you're in corporate, in your thought leadership, and whatever you're creating, is deeply embodied. And it literally begins with two things. One of them is you taking up physical space. And I literally mean your ability to let your spirit, to let your essence fill up your skin, to fill up this physical container. And the second part of this is you using your true voice. Both of these are really interesting. Taking up physical space and using your true voice are both really interesting topics, because they're both things that we can be conditioned or trained out of. Whether that's in perfectionism, people pleasing, for those of us that are women being a good girl, even men, right? Shut themselves down, shut down their power, shut down their voice, diminish the space that they're taking up. Men have different challenges in some ways. Sometimes it's like having to play a certain role to fit in business. Or, to be the man, to keep it all together, to be the breadwinner. And reclaiming visibility through the body, through taking up space, and through the voice, is absolutely a process of deconditioning. When you take up space through your voice in particular, it is partly about sinking into the true tone, the true intonation, the true inflection. And very much also about speaking your mind. Free of what other people might think. It's truly both of those pieces together. I'm going to quick share, and then I want to invite anyone who's here live with me into a brief embodiment of this practice. I have a client who is at 6 figures. She's in the health field. She has gotten there through a lot of business strategy, a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of outsourcing social media. Basically, the linear parts, the hard work, the hustle, whatever you want to call it. And she has a much larger vision of having TED Talks, of speaking on stage, of those beautiful things that many of us want to do, that many of us want to create. And yesterday, her and I had a session. The whole journey was about bringing her into her voice so that she could show up in video, bring more of herself to the table, and do these exact things. Okay, so let's really go into actually doing this together for a couple of moments. Take a couple of moments, take a few deep breaths. And just acknowledge where you're at in business. Honestly. No sugarcoating, no law of attraction, no making it better than it is. Whether that's six figures, whether that's corporate, whether you're at the start of something new, at the start of a new journey or a new idea. Take a moment and acknowledge where you're truly at. And just bring that into the room. And then start to ask yourself the question, what is it that I truly desire to say? What is it that I truly desire to say? And then dive into your body. Bring your awareness down into your throat. And take 3 or 4 deep breaths into your throat. Noticing what you feel in there. And noticing what the energy is. And if you could bring your awareness another level down into your throat and ask yourself, with that connection, what is it that I truly desire to say? And this might be in your business. This might be in your life. This might be on YouTube. It might be with your husband or wife. It might be to a prospect or to a client. And then give yourself full permission and just let the words come out. You're alone watching this. Let the words, whatever you really want to say, come out. Maybe it's words. Maybe it's sounds. And speak whatever is truly arising out into the space. And just notice how that feels. and take a beat. And if you've been in your own little meditative space with that, this come back to me. Come back to now and just imagine what might happen if you spoke that magnitude of truth in your business. What might happen to your visibility? What might happen to how people responded to you? Whether that's on your YouTube channel or your clients or your team. And what might the end result be of taking up that much space with your voice and with your truth? Okay, my loves, thank you. That is mostly what I wanted to share and to say today. If you are interested in working with me privately, I am currently working with spiritually oriented CEOs, founders, and leaders who want to deepen their impact, leadership, and legacy. I'm currently working with spiritually oriented CEOs, founders, and leaders who want to deepen their impact, leadership, and legacy. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. Number one, I'm available to come to your organization or team. If you're interested in that, the best way to get the ball rolling is DM me, inbox me on either Facebook or LinkedIn. Number two, I'm working with people privately. If you want to work with me and you're ready to invest at a high level, I do offer exploratory calls. I do have a new requirement for those calls that you have the cash in hand, ready to invest, ready to go, and we're using the call to get you to a yes or a no. Number three, I do offer single paid spiritual integration strategy sessions if you want to work with me but are ready to dip your toes in. So to inquire about any of that, shoot me an inbox on Facebook or LinkedIn. Have a beautiful day from Maui.